Welcome back. Now, according to a new survey, social media is definitely an important tool for Tennessee businesses and organizations, but can they utilize it even more for better results? Here to tell us more about the survey's findings is Mary Beth West, principal at Mary Beth West Consulting, and Tori Rose, principal and creative director of Blue Media Boutique. Ladies, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Mary Beth, first of all, who did you target in this survey, and what was the point of doing this survey?
We focused on interviewing communications professionals across the state of Tennessee, and our focus here was to be able to get a sense of where social media stands among those people who are managing communications for their businesses and organizations across the state. It was conducted in partnership with the Public Relations Society of America chapters across the state, of which there are 5 in each of the major metropolitan areas.
And Tori, let's talk about some of the findings then. What stood out based on what you were hearing from the respondents?
I think the most the thing that stood out the most was the gap that exists between the importance people place on social media. They know that they should be doing it, they should be utilizing it, but there's a gap between what they're doing. They know that they're not utilizing it to its potential. So the gap that existed between those two things was pretty shocking to us.
Is that because they don't know how to properly utilize it? What were some of the reasons in that gap?
Yeah, they don't know how to utilize it on a daily basis. They are confused about how to look at the return on investment from social media, the combination of traditional media and social media, what mix of those two to use together was confusing to them. So overall, they know that they should be doing it and that it's an important thing for their business, but they're not quite certain how to engage. And I think what that causes is a lack of engagement. They just kind of take a step back from it and don't participate in it, which we would say you're missing the boat if you're not.
And it is pretty overwhelming. I think anyone from an individual standpoint, and then you look at it from a business, it can be very overwhelming. Yeah. Mary Beth, then how should a company best approach using social media then?
They need to focus first on what is their objective. What do they want to achieve using social media tools? They need to understand who their audience is, and a lot of times that requires a concerted research effort to know who the people are, who they're seeking to engage with social media tools, what those audiences want from the company in terms of content and information and interactional opportunities. So having a set forth strategy and a real message, and working those tools daily, and making sure that social media isn't something that you can just put out a Facebook page, for example, and expect it to run itself. It has to be attended to.
And there is a lot to gain then from utilizing it, and utilizing it well then, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Ladies, thanks so much for your insight and sharing this really interesting information. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. And a full white paper is free to download from interactivespringboard.com.